All right, fam. Here we go. Another video. Let's freaking go. It's your boy Chadski here. And listen, we literally launched this channel about 10 days ago. The response has been amazing. The videos that I've done, people have had great feedback. I encourage everybody's feedback, positive, negative. You want to argue, you want to debate. It's all good to me. There's no big issue for me. I love all that stuff. I love the conversation because I love this game and I love the community. And there's no right or wrong answer. And at the end of the day, we're playing a mobile game and we're having fun with it. So a lot of feedback we got was, please God, do a tier list for inscriptions. Okay, players want to know that. Common inscriptions, rare inscriptions, how do they rank amongst each other? How do they look? What gives you the most benefit? So we're doing that. This is the tiered inscriptions. This is what we're doing. We're going to start with arch formation in this particular video. Okay, you can see my previous videos that I've got on my channel, and we'll probably do wedge formation in another video, but we're going to focus arch. Okay, a lot of people wanted to know, give me the tier list for the arch. Okay, so that's what we're going to do for you. And we're going to start right off the bat with the scroll. Okay, so I'm going to pull this up. I'll pull the codex up over here, and then I'll be able to put my tier over here. There you go. Okay, so right off the bat, this is what's the most surprising of everything, and we'll just get right to it. Destructive and battle ready. Not good. Okay, I left it at B tier. I left it in the third tier, if you will, for this particular armament, because I really didn't want a bunch of people killing themselves. That's how you feel when you've got destructive. I've got two of them. All right, I've got two. And after testing and figuring it out, it's just not that good. You do the rage mitigation with destructive, it's not good at all. Mitigates rage, battle ready is even worse. Battle ready does specify that you do get normal damage boost for 2 seconds, but you don't get the 3.5% boost to normal damage perpetually. And then destructive is just not good because this is 70% attack, y'all. This isn't normal damage. This is just attack for your basic attack. Like, what? What is this garbage? Okay, and so that they're going to be ranked rather lower. You're better off grabbing health, okay? You're better off grabbing breaker, which is great. You're going to reduce the target's defense by 15% for 3 seconds. That's like a skill, okay? So that is a high debuff for a particular inscription, and that's why we put that in the S tier for this particular slot, okay? Well, Clad's great, 3.5% defense. Pulverize comes in along with it. You got a 10% chance to gain a 20% bonus to all types of normal damage dealt for 1 second. It's a 1 second hit, but if you can get that on a smite, great. You're going to increase your red numbers. It's great. Or if you're being swarmed, you're going to increase the kickback of counterattack that you're doing. So that's all really, really good. We did put destructive and calm right there with Warcry. Warcry's obviously got the attack of the Yielder's troops, so that's just kind of what it is. And so with that, Warcry is good because it gives you attack, and I'll keep destructive and battle ready there if you want me to. But it's also got calm and ward. Calm and ward kind of adds some different things. You get a 10% bonus attack on calm. Ward is kind of cool. You take 5% less damage for 3 seconds after you use your active skill. So that's, an all damage mitigation that your troops take. It lasts 3 seconds. It's got a cooldown for 5 seconds, so that's pretty good. Okay, the other ones you can look at, they're small little things. Phalanx is a shield generation. Valiant, onslaught, a little bit of normal damage. Retaliation, a little bit of counterattack damage, nothing crazy. And then your D tier is your enraged, loose, and furious. Okay, let me just tell you, enraged, this does nothing for us because we're running this on arch and we want smite, baby. And 2.5% skill damage doesn't do anything for us. It does have 1% of counter damage, so you do actually put it on the list, but it's very, very limited when it comes to what it does and how it performs for your smite marches. Loosed is the same way. You basically get 1% normal damage because this is a V formation situation. I don't know why they still have these stupid things in here for your arch formation. That doesn't make any sense, okay? Furious is another one. I like Furious a lot. It gives you an 8% bonus to all types of skill damage dealt after you launch an active skill. So your secondary commander is going to get that 8% bonus. Awesome. Okay. The only problem with this is It's got to, or the only problem with this is that we don't run skill damage on our arch formation, on our smite commanders. Okay, so that's negated. You don't even use that. You do get a 3% bonus to all types of counterattack for 3 seconds. Cooldown's 5 seconds. That's why it's at the bottom here. It's not great. I think that averages out to be about 1.9% counterattack. Not a big deal. Okay, so that gives us our scroll situation. I know it's crazy for people to think. Destructive and battle ready. This is nuts. Why is destructive and battle ready not, higher? Well, we've gone through that. You can check out my video for that. I explain that, and it's a trap. You do not want to use those two inscriptions. Okay, you move on to the horn. This is great. This is, honestly, I'm going to go ahead and just say it. This is straight to the point. It's pretty easy. You get a 3.5% boost to normal damage dealt. That's awesome. You got a 10% chance to gain a 20% bonus to more normal damage dealt for 3 seconds. You do get a 10 second or a 10% reduction to skill damage. We don't even care. We're not skill damage over here. So that is awesome. It's one of the best inscriptions in the game. It's great. We'll keep that at S tier. Even Killed is right behind it. It's a smaller version of that, 1.5% boost, and it does mitigation instead of boosting your normal damage. So you get a 10% chance to reduce all incoming damage by 5% for 3 seconds, but you also deal 10% less skill damage. We don't care. So that's always a good one. So we put that at the A tier. And then here's one that's crazy. Okay. Uplifting. One of my favorite inscriptions, and it only shows up in the instrument of any armaments. Okay. So on the arch formation, it shows up in the instrument. It is a 5% boost to normal damage dealt. You get 1% when you first go into battle. For every 10 seconds, you get another percent up to 5%. Rallies and garrisons, this is great. You're going to hit 5% extra normal damage boost that stays perpetual through the rally or garrison. In the field, if you fight like I do in a murder ball, you keep your troops hooked up for 2, 3, 4 minutes sometimes, just non-stop. And when you do that, the second you go over 50 seconds, you've got this up to 5%, and your Wallace and Luce are running around just crushing things. So it flipped it really, really good, and that's kind of how that one works out. So from there, you've got Fit, which we like, is a 3.5% increase to health, and then you've got Armored, which is defense. You've got Respite and in battle. These are all like little things that you can look at and kind of get some value out of. Respite is actually pretty good. 10% chance to take 10% less damage for the next 2 seconds when you launch any kind of basic attack. So you can go through and kind of see how these things work out, but that's kind of the list I've given you. The D tier is Brutal. Obviously, that's a 3.5% attack. You got Vengeful, which adds some rage, Patronage and Guarded, which does some different things. And so you actually kind of see what the priority is in here for me. I'm not going to run through every one of these, but you get an idea. And if you want to look at it, the one thing I will do is in the E category, this is bad, stay away from these, is Devious. Okay, 2.5% more skill damage. We don't care. We're doing Smite. And it gives you 1% counterattack. Okay, so that's it. That's all it is, 1% counterattack. Then I've got Spirited, and if you've seen my Spirited video, this is garbage. This doesn't do anything. Okay, it gives you 5% damage when you have over 70% rage, but it's a trap. It does not count for your active skill. Okay, if you're like me and you saw this and said, hey, this is great, and you go to your active skill, it's great. You go to your active skill, you don't get that 5% damage on your active skill. Your rage is technically 0% during that active skill. Okay, so basically you get this 1 to 2 seconds, sometimes 2 seconds, mainly just 1 second every skill cycle. You get this for a white number turn. That's it. And it's just like, okay, I guess that's okay. It's not really good at all. It's a little bit of a trap, so stay away from Spirit. Or if you run it thinking it's great, you get 5% all damage on your skill, on your active skill, on your primary. That's not what you're getting, so get rid of this thing. Okay, we'll move on to the next one. The Emblem, I love it. Emblem is one of my favorites. Straight and easy with the Emblem. Fearless, 8% boost to normal damage dealt. It's awesome. Forceful, 3% bonus to normal damage dealt. That's great. You put that in the same category as Hardy, which is the health. You've got Shielded, and then I want to talk about this one. Smite is really good. So you have Fearless at 8%, Forceful at 3%, and then you got Smite at 2%, okay? This is great. 2% more normal damage is like 2% all damage. I'll take that. So I put Smite pretty high on there, and then of course you got Deflector and some other things. Deflector's really good. I like it. It's 3% less skill damage of all types, and that's perpetual. It's not a triggered buff or anything. So it is a really good little thing that you can get. So those are Those are good inscriptions you can get. Rapacious, Guardians, we've talked about Watchmen, Counter, and Resistance. They all kind of sit in the same thing with Infamy and Militant and Enduring. These are decent. They're not amazing. You try to get better inscriptions, a higher tier inscriptions, but the C category, the fourth tier here for the emblem is not all that awful. And so one of the things to look out for, Artisan, Haste, and all that stuff, Artisan is skill damage, but it does do 1.5% counterattack damage boost, so I did put it in the D category. Daring and Line Shot give you nothing, okay? Daring gives you 2.5% of skill damage. We don't use it. 1% more counterattack damage. You use that, but it's just not much. And then, of course, Line Shot, back to this V formation stuff. And it's a 1% more damage, more normal damage boost of all types. So it's just like, blah, it's nothing, okay? If you get it as part of a double inscription, now we're cooking, okay? If you get like a Hardy with a Line Shot, yeah, I'll take that. And so there's some, I think I've actually got that here. Do I have that? No, I got Robust and Warcry. I thought I had it somewhere. No, I'm gonna find it for you because I do have it. It is in our wedge, I believe. Let's see, 2-2. This one, Devious Annexer. I've got it somewhere. But stuff like this, Guarded and Brutal, that's great, man. 10% chance to reduce the damage by 20% when you take any skill damage. Great. You add it with the 3.5% attack. Awesome. Double inscriptions help make this stuff even better, and that's something always to look at when you're looking at all the inscriptions and you're like, hey, I've got something in the second tier, but I've got also something in the fourth tier, and it's a double inscription. Well, it just makes it that much more valuable, but at least it's put some kind of value on it. Okay, so as we said with the emblem, Fearless, so hard to get, but if you can get it, man, GG, go to work. It's awesome. Okay, and the last one is the flag slot. Okay, we love the flag slot mainly because Invincible is off the charts. Okay, you have skill damage resistance. Awesome, I'll take that. 5% skill damage resistance, that's great. And 20% of your troops, for every 20% your target loses in its troops, you gain 3% more normal damage, up to 12%. Okay, well in a rally and garrison, that's gonna happen pretty fast. And you're running 12% normal damage on a Gorgo Hera garrison or a Gorgo Attila garrison? Okay, I'll take that. And so same thing with like an Attila Luce rally or a Scipio Aemilianus with William Wallace rally. You're just gonna run that normal damage up. It's amazing. And it's also great in the field. You know why? It's because no matter what you target in the field, wherever their HP bar is, this immediately goes into effect. So if you are targeting a march that's got 30% HP, okay, it's basically got 30% left in its troops, you're immediately going to get 9% more normal damage. That's how this works, and that's why it's great for field as well. You've got Unswerving in the second tier here, and the skill damage resistance, great. 4% skill damage resistance, you'll take it. Vitality, of course, we always have our health the highest, okay, and we put Assertive with it. Assertive, if you're in the field, I believe you're in the field, you get 2% damage, great. That's what we want, right? So that's rally and field troops. It does not work if you're in the garrison, so there's a little bit of a caveat there. Then you've got like metallics and strategic and brave. Brave, I do want to show you because I love this. It could go higher. If you are being swarmed, you're going to kick out 5% counterattack. Okay, if you're being swarmed, doesn't matter if it's a garrison, rally, or in the field. If you're being swarmed, guys, a vengeance is 8%. Okay, a vengeance is 8%. This gives you 5%. It's crazy. So it's a really valuable inscription. It's a little bit finicky because you got to be getting surrounded, but it's really, really good and how they use it. Okay. I always like Cohesive. Cohesive's a good one. 2% extra damage when you have over 50% units. Most of the time you do have over 50% units if you do a good job of refreshing your marches. So the next tier, you go down to the D tier, or what I'll say the fifth tier. Spiked gives you obviously the attack, which is fine. Striker and Eclipse are in there. There's little just bonuses and boosts to little things, but not anything crazy. I did make Galloping and or you have Rebuff, Wary, and War Flames. These are just like 1.5%, normal damage boost, 1% all damage boost. That's just nothing. It's not very good. The E category, the gray category here, is the garbage category, right? Galloping, okay, 2.5% march speed. That's fine. whatever. Ballistics, this is the line shot one. Oh, it sucks. It is a V formation one. You get 1.5% more counterattack. Doesn't do much for you. And then, of course, you got sentries. But here's the other thing with this. Let's see. Not sentries. I'm sorry. Brawler. Brawler is still in that bad category. Let me show you. It's the skill damage one. We don't do skill damage. We don't care. Okay. But then at the bottom here in this tier, this is for you rally and garrisons. Okay. I don't know exactly where these rank, but they're all pretty good. And these are specific inscriptions for rallies and garrisons. Okay. So you have Desperado. Okay. Where's that at? Let's get our Desperado here. 2% less damage when your troops have under 50% remaining. Awesome. Rally and garrison, that's going to work pretty good. Not great in the field because you're gonna die pretty quick if you got less than 50% units remaining. But rally and garrison, great. Siege work, same type of thing. 2% damage when attacking a city or stronghold. Awesome. You've got sentries and pursuer. Okay, sentries, 2% less damage taken while you're garrisoning. Okay, so it's kind of like the opposite of siege work, which is kind of really cool. And so they just add some all damage to that. That's great. It's good to use in rallies and garrisons. Okay, pursuer's great. You deal 2% extra damage with under 20% units remaining. So that's a situation to where it's strictly rally and garrison. Okay, you deal 2% extra damage to troops with 20% units remaining. So that's hitting the rally or garrison when their troops fall below 20%, and it happens pretty quick. The march of the garrison or the march of the rally is going to fall below 20%, even if it's being reinforced. That'll fall below 20%. You grab that extra 2% damage, that's great. I guess you can use in the field if you're switching the targets with 20% units remaining. It's going to put that all damage buff on it. So from that standpoint, that gives you an idea of all four, okay? So let me go here. We'll go to the beginning. So there's your scroll. Okay, everybody, take a photo of it. I'll put it up in my Discord as well. I'll have my Discord link in the comments below, so you can check out my Discord, join it. I got 400 people on my Discord. We've only had it up for 5 days. Okay, and so everybody, as we're populating it, everybody's getting an idea of what the community is all about and what we do. We're all a bunch of nerds. We talk about this stuff. We have great ideas, and you know me, there is no such thing as a bad idea, because great ideas come from bad ideas. And somebody can go in there and say, hey, have you thought of this? Or have you thought of that? And it's like, yeah, we have, and we tested it, it doesn't work. But then somebody out of left field says, hey, what if you tried it this way? And then it works, and it becomes meta in the game. That's how this stuff is found out, and that is invited, and that's the kind of community and environment and culture I have in the Discord. So join the Discord, help us out with it. You'll get all this stuff as well, these snapshots on each one of these. Your horn, that's what you got. Your emblem, that's what you got. And your flag, that's what you got. And it gives you an idea of exactly how we're going to lay this thing out. If you're getting your armaments for Arch, this is kind of the tier list you can use and abide by. If you get an inscription, you look up and it's primed, and you look at this, you're like, oh, this is in like the 5th tier. I need something better. Then at least you have some sort of barometer, some sort of point of reference, and we try to help out all the players when it comes to these tiers. So with that being said, appreciate everybody for joining. I'll do a wedge one later, but this is a lot of thought went into this. Had a lot of conversations with a lot of people, a lot of my own experience. I'm an Arch player, so I'll put the stamp on it and say, hey, this is what you're going to need, and hopefully it helps you out and helps you be more effective. Love everybody hanging out. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel, check out more videos as I put them out. Go check out my old videos, and can't tell everybody thank you enough for giving me feedback, jumping in, watching the videos. It is really, really good, and it's part of the reason why I've ramped up so many videos, because the feedback's been off the chart. So hopefully this is helping you out. And with that being said, y'all have a great day. We'll see you, broskies.